Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your very first gameplay and overview straight from the Seek and Destroy dev server for the brand new T-80U-E1. This will be a pre-order vehicle that you can get with the Russian Ground Forces tech tree, rank 7, battle rating 11.3, and of course comes with 2,500 golden eagles, a flying tank, decal if you want the pre-order, and some other things as well. I'll try to link the dev blog in the comments below. And I saw the dev blog this morning. It just got released, and I thought to myself, you know what would be better than describing this vehicle than showing you exactly what it is, and also, again, giving some gameplay. So here we are. Now, again, this vehicle is in the dev server, so bear in mind, things can change, but as of right now, there are some facts that we kind of know, especially based on the dev blog. Now, this thing does have Gen 2 thermals, which is fantastic. Also, it has a T-80U-D turret, and also a T-80BV hull. So it is a little bit different in that way. It's kind of a Tankenstein, so to speak, being that it kind of uses an older turret with worse armor, and also a newer hull with, of course, better armor. And you also get Contact 5 ERA, which is fantastic. Otherwise, this has the same 1,250 horsepower turbine that you could expect from a T-80, and it also has pretty good, but not amazing ammunition with the 3BM46. I'm actually kind of surprised it doesn't have the 3BM60, but I guess it makes sense in some ways. But it also doesn't. This does have the 2A46 M4, which you would expect would be a little bit more advanced, but I guess not. So that being said, this is again pretty much like a mishmash of a few different tanks, but the tanks are so similar that you might not even notice when playing it. And again, this is what you kind of have when it comes to its secondaries. Now, interestingly, here on the dev server, it only shows night vision, but again, based on the dev blog, it is supposed to have Gen 2 thermals, so I'm guessing that this is just something that has not been implemented into the dev server yet, because again, everything you see on the dev server is up for change up to and even beyond the release of this game, or rather the update. So that being said, we're going to get into a few matches here, see how this thing performs, have a good time, and yeah, this is the brand new T-80U-E1. Let's get into it. So of course, here we are in the dev server. This thing is, as you could expect, pretty damn mobile. You know, I mean, pretty much all T-80s are going to be very mobile. Even the UD with the diesel engine is a pretty mobile vehicle. This is no exception. You also have to bear in mind, dev server, we only have 2 enemy players here. That's it, you know. Everyone else is going to be a bot, which means that, unfortunately, well, I'm going to be facing a lot of World War II vehicles that are not controlled by actual people. Now, as I said before, this only has night vision, as you can see there, which kind of sucks. But again, in the dev server, or in the dev blog rather, they did mention that you should be getting, thermals, Gen 2 thermals at that. So we'll have to wait and see, but that definitely does not give me a vote of confidence, especially with the fact that in the past, dev blogs have been incorrect and they've later corrected them. But apparently, the Gen 2 thermals are a pretty well-known fact about this vehicle, so I do have faith that it will be coming to the final product version of this. I mean, otherwise, some other things I do notice here. Turret traverse is good, as one could imagine. It is 40 degrees, fully aced. So bear that in mind. This is an ace crew. If you don't have an ace crew, I would expect somewhere around 30-ish, you know. Especially if you don't even have an expert crew. It might even be a touch lower than that. But overall, I mean, it's a competitive turret traverse. And that's something like 840 is typical of what you can get with an ace crew with a lot of really, really good countries. Or a lot of really good vehicles. So that is pretty normal. Okay, we have a Puma. And we don't have a Puma anymore. We got ourselves a kill. Very nice. That was one of the enemy players. But again, I mean, really what this is just kind of a mishmash of a few different tanks. Again, the T-80U-D and the T-80 with the turret and the T-80BV with the hull. Which means that this pretty much plays like tanks that we already have in War Thunder. That's just how it is. You know, so this is really no different than those 2 vehicles, if you could imagine it. So, again, using dev server gameplay, there is a little bit of imagination that has to go into it because, you know, I'm just facing World War II vehicles in large part. Or, if I'm lucky, kind of like what I just had there, I could sneak up on a post-World War II vehicle and have a nice, easy kill of it. We have an enemy over here. And we got the loader and engine. Let's see. Oh, he got me. Ah, that gosh darn poop head. Anyway, oh, look at that. It just told me to use ESS. That's interesting. Okay, probably not the wisest thing for me to have done right there, but I am hungry for kill. Oh, geez, that's a lot of World War II tanks. This guy's on my trail. Uh-oh. We actually might die here. Okay, but we are... Oh, yep, we're gonna die. That's what you get for getting a little too hungry for World War II tanks. Okay, that said, let's get into another match. Also, interesting to note here, of course, I'm on an English-speaking server, or at least, you know, like North American, if I'm not mistaken, or EU. And typically in this server, they don't have the Russian, like, Cyrillic. But if I'm not mistaken, that is Cyrillic. And, yeah, so they kind of, I think, rushed this onto the dev server, which would also kind of lend credence, if that's the actual case, to the fact that this is supposed to get thermals. Like I said, on the devlog, it says that it should. Just so you guys kind of are a little bit more at ease with that. But again, I mean, putting money down on a pre-order, it's a little bit iffy. You know, genuinely, that is a little bit iffy. And, you know, even if you get all these pre-order bonuses, always think to yourself, like, hey, is this going to be a vehicle that I really like? Especially if you're not familiar with top tier, you could be sinking a good amount of money, in this instance, $69.99 USD, into something that you might not be good at for quite a while. And I mean months or even more. There he is. And we got our... Ooh, look at that! Power system hit! That's not something I expected, but that's actually really, really cool, because that's one of their new features. Awesome. Let's go ahead and move up. Hopefully I don't get killed. Oh, he's right there. That's dangerous. Got lucky, though. Very nice. And that was the namer. Awesome. Oh, that's another thing, actually. If you look at the internals of this thing, it looks like it has a slightly more developed system of gadgets, so to speak, which is what Gaijin is looking to do. You know, put into place, like, more advanced systems and whatever else to make it more accurate to real life, but I'm not entirely sure how... Ooh, Lord. How accurate this all is. I can't even see. Let's go ahead and just keep on firing here. We're going to get ourselves some World War II tank kills, but I mean, ultimately, and unfortunately, this is just kind of what dev server gameplay looks like, right? It's fun, but it's limited. And so while you can get yourself kills against actual enemy players, there are no more enemy players, unfortunately. And like I said, when it comes to this vehicle in general, what can you really expect? I mean, everything that you see here, for better or worse, is a, you know, it's just kind of, it's not copy and paste this vehicle, but it's about as close as you can get without it actually being copy paste. Just because, again, T-80U-D turret, T-80BV hull, and so you really can't, I don't know, I just really don't feel like I can call this thing a completely unique vehicle. But can you really say that about, at this point, any T-80 variant? I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of waiting to see, I was going to try to get a double kill there. But ultimately, this is just kind of how the T-80U-E1 plays. My apology for that. It's one of those things where I feel like it's going to be very, very good. You have yourself a 6.5 second reloading auto loader. It's got very good mobility. Not absolutely top of the line, but pretty damn close. Actually, you know what? This might be top of the line mobility when it comes to a medium or main battle tank. This is definitely among the most mobile, especially with that nice top speed of 70 kilometers per hour. You really can't ask for much more. So, that being said, you know, as much as I hate to say it, this is probably going to be about it for the gameplay. I don't really think many people are playing the dev server as of right now. It's a little bit late in the dev server process, so there's not really all too much I can do versus other players. But as you can see, this thing could at least stand up to a namer, which is theoretically going to be one of the vehicles that it fights, so it's going to be a pretty capable vehicle insofar as survivability is concerned, and as you can see, this thing could kill, at least when it comes to lightly armored vehicles. Up armored vehicles, it is what it is. It's got an okay enough shell, but not anything too fantastic. That said, thanks again for watching. I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.